Hello, our viewers. Welcome to our WAPADELA live show brought to you by Tinvelen Multipurpose Zambia in conjunction with the Litovia. I am your usual presenter of this show, Brian Kachiza, and I would like to inform you that I'm a proud deaf being assisted by sign language interpreter Blessing Sokauta. Viewers, note that this program shines a light on the success and struggles faced by persons with disabilities and people without disabilities, and fostering a space where everyone's story is heard and valued. So by encouraging dialogue, breaking down barriers, and promoting equal opportunities in helping, opportunities helps bridge the divide between these communities. In doing so, it supports the global goal of reducing inequalities, that is under SDG number 10, by ensuring that no one is left behind and everyone has a chance to thrive regardless of their ability. Now, what is the topic for today? Today we have another interesting topic about concerns for the deaf people. So we are going to discuss about this topic, the concerns, security concerns for the deaf people. And I'm not alone in the studio being discussing on the show with Pastor Lewis. You're most welcome to the show, Pastor. Please introduce yourself. Thank you so much. So my name is Lewis Nkoma. Okay, thank you so much. Please, Pastor Lewis, feel free to discuss with us on this show. Yeah, knowing you as a deaf person, we want first to understand how long have you been living with deafness? It's been quite some years. Yeah, I was born hearing, as a hearing person, until when I reached, I think that was the age of 9 to 10, somewhere there. That's when I had a terrible headache, yeah, which lasted for so many days, and that led to me becoming deaf. And after another year, from there, I continued now and accepted the situation of the deafness. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a sad moment, but again, at the same time, we appreciate and feel so important to have you. Now, what challenges have you been having as a deaf person when it comes to security? So in Zambia's constitution, it has been amended several times, and the government has placed in the laws that can be, and the constitution that can be changed. So we don't know much where the deaf is, and we can't really understand about the security of the deaf. So that's the first challenge that we have. So we need more information to be given to the deaf people. And the new laws that had to be put on, like they have to be informers and to see on how one can be the law breakers, what challenges they can face, and what they should be abiding to. That way it will help the deaf people first to know the law and come to security. Yeah. So, but what we've seen is that we've not had any update or sensitization concerning the constitution or the security laws that have been given to the deaf people in sign language. Yet the deaf people, they have also to know the security and the law. And at the end of it, we tend to create our own securities. Yeah. So in 1994, in 1964, since Zambia got independence, until date, we've seen the amendment in the constitution on the other things that have been made. But now, the constitution, the issue regarding the deaf people, and also disability has not been discussed on. So that's the challenge that we have. And anyway, we thank God, and we hope that very soon. We had a discussion, some few days, where the MMD party president, Mr. Dr. Nevas Mumba, had also come in with that concern, where he advocated also to bring in sign language interpretation. So we believe that if those cases, like we started with sign language, can be discussed on, like it is on the securities, we believe that we are not going to fail, and the deaf people, they are going to benefit. So we hope that the lives and the security becomes better for the deaf. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Now, what is lacking in the security force or security system when it comes to the when it comes to the security, when it comes to the community for persons with disabilities, more especially the deaf, to protect their lives? So what I can say is that the defense itself, the security itself, they are not interpreters, sign language interpreters. When you go to the police stations, yeah, we can have a nearby police station or police post, but now people who can understand me, they are not there. You see, so we need to be someone who is closer to the deaf people. Let's say if a deaf person was to be arrested, what are they going to do, the police officers there? They will just be there with a pen writing in the papers, and they expect you to write everything. Yet the deaf people, their grammar is different, and they will tend to miss out some information. So you find that they might even accept something that they know that it's not even clear, because it's not well understood in the English grammar. So the way that the hearing culture is different from us, the deaf people. So the police officers, if they were to be trained also into sign language, that can help us to understand. You know, English and grammar for the deaf or sign language is different. So the police officers are supposed to learn that also. Yeah, thank you so much. So now, as an advocate, we know you as a pastor and also an advocate in terms of disabilities. So what plans do you have in order for your ideas to be achieved? Yeah, let's say if you had power to do so. So first of all, the constitution that we have is very bad, as I'm saying, I can say it. We need to change the constitution, because we don't have a place where the deaf people can be trained and the deaf people to participate in comes to the security. So we need to change. If I was to do that, that's what I can do. We need to have that process. So like I've been saying, a lot of hearing people, they have been sensitized. They know what is supposed to be done, and the amendment and everything is changed. But when it comes to the deaf people, we have never heard of sensitization being put into sign language. And we have other disabilities. Like a blind person can be put here, and someone on the wheelchair can be put there. And the deaf people, a deaf person can also be there. What will happen is that they can sensitize everything. They will say verbally, and then to them they will say, they think that it's inclusive, but yet they have excluded a sign language interpreter who's going to help a deaf person to understand. Yet the blind and the one on the wheelchair, they'll be able to understand what is being said verbally. But me, who is, or someone who is deaf, is unable to hear what they are saying. So that's a very big challenge that we have, that there is lack of sensitization. So thank you so much. Yeah, so at times, when they are doing sensitization, you know, they'll be moving around to sensitize with the megaphones, but we've never seen it like happening to the deaf people. Yeah. And on many occasions, the deaf people have not benefited to that sensitization which is being given. Now, how do you feel about that? So what I can say that I really feel bad, and that's why I'm saying that we need people to be closer, and actually people, they must understand us clearly. That is by the use of sign language and interpreters also, so to say, who can be there to help us to give the information. So our viewers, thank you so much, and please feel free to participate, and you can bring in your messages and your call on this program. This is a very interesting story and topic we have for today. Yeah, now, what do you think could be the reason to that? Is it negligence, or maybe lack of sensitization about the deaf when it comes to the security system? So if sign language, let's say the deaf people themselves, they're being discriminated because the information that is being given, they should be also into sign language. So our country can say that there have been it's been negligence on that. Yeah. Because the bills that have been signed and everything, when it comes to, it's there in the Constitution, and they have attached anything. It's a sign language should be there, and that has been, it's a very big one when it comes to the Disability Act. So that allows everyone actually to learn sign language. So meaning, me, the deaf person, I should, you know, a deaf person, they have to be, they are aware of what's supposed to happen to me, the deaf person, but it's been negligence that they have not paid attention to us, the deaf people, because everywhere people are interested in sign language or in the language, and some have seen that they have started now getting closer to the deaf people. Now, for those who want to get closer to the deaf people, meaning they should also learn sign language, and it's of this reason that sign language should actually be should be compulsory when it comes to language learning. So everywhere we have the deaf people, so sign language should be compulsory, that it can be found everywhere. So if we do that, it will mean that we are not neglecting anyone, and it will make me feel good. Yeah, and that's what we are trying to work on, to make sure that the Constitution have been amended to support the deaf people. So now let's talk of when the sensitization is being given. Normally there is verbal, yeah, megaphone, but to us, the deaf people, we don't benefit. Yeah, we don't benefit because there is no sign language interpreter. So what do you think it should be done normal on that one? Okay, so let's say, Brian, you are a hearing person and me, I'm a deaf person. How can we talk, the two of us? It's very difficult. So it's very important. The key issue here is that you need to learn sign language first for you to understand someone who is deaf. You know? And that means the communication for you to be better. So you need to get that keen interest to start learning sign language. Sign language. We have the friends in Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, you know, they've been doing so well. Like the majority, they have now learned sign language. You can go the plane, the airport, the port there, the ship, you find someone to assist you in sign language, and that will make you feel so comfortable. That is in other countries, without hindering the deaf people. Everyone is benefiting. And that's what should be done. That's what we want to happen in our Zambian government. We don't want to discriminate nor hinder someone's right. So when it comes to security, it's also the better thing. So for the deaf people, that they also receive accurate information. Thank you so much. We appreciate for your wonderful explanation. So, how has been your journey in the deaf community, being a deaf person? Well, I've been in so many routes, not just in Zambian routes, but also outside different places. And I've really learned important things as a deaf person that I think we should do to develop our country when it comes to security. Yeah, so we need to do more unlike it is right now. So now you yourself, you are a pastor. So how have you been advocating this disability, or have you worked as a pastor? Yeah, so first of all, for so many years now, I went to school. Yeah, from there, I became so active into the community and tried to advocate for the rights of the deaf people. That's why I decided to join the political party's MMD, where I'm now the National Executive Council member. Yeah, so where, yes, we really want to make sure that the deaf people, they have a platform, or the persons with disabilities have got a place where they can be advocated on. So it feels so good that I was welcomed by Dr. Zambian as being the first Zambian deaf person who has been so advocating for the rights and the issues of deaf people in governance. So that is just I can say in short about my journey in the community. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Have you, let's say you and other disability organization, have you ever tried to come up with some measures to challenge the government when it comes to the security for the deaf in the community? So first of all, the government, we talk of, this is just more like our home, our country. So when we talk about advocacy, who can help us to voice out, like the bridge? We need, first of all, sign language interpreters. Me alone, I cannot really go. Yes, I can go, but I cannot. But we need the bridge, who is the sign language interpreters. Now, are you and the other deaf organization, have you tried to put something like to challenge the government to say, why have you been leaving out the deaf people when it comes to security or protecting the livelihood of the deaf? Have you done something? First of all, at the moment, we've not done anything like protesting or, yeah. We think this is not a good to move, but we have put something that we can do for us to change this system. So the best way, what we are trying to do is we've been putting something in written to the government. You understand, right? Yeah. So we're not really matching to say we complain, then he's saying the government is leaving out, we are missing out as the deaf people. No, we need to put it like, it's the structure that we need to write and then give it to the government, to the ministry. Why am I saying this? You know, my party president can say, Mr. Nevas Mumba, he has seen it, and someone who is interested comes to the issue of the deaf people. I've been so close with him for quite some years, and we've been discussing on how best we can sort out the issues of disabilities. So with him and the party and other disability organizations, we've tried to see on how we can meet and then meet the government to see that disability issues or the security when it comes to the deaf people is being head on. That's why I was able to be appointed to take the lead when it comes to the matters of the disability or the deaf people. Yeah. So I pray that all goes well as we write to them. So has there been any response from the government when it comes to the concern that you've been writing to? Well, as I say, this protesting or marching can't solve out anything. We had this other issue of where now our license as the deaf people have been blocked, where the deaf people cannot drive in Zambia. So they are doing that in terms of security. So we have issues, and we sued the government for that. And then unfortunately, we never really had the solution that we expected. So slowly by slowly, through their offices, we've been meeting them, the ministers and the other higher officials. Yeah. So with the other few disability organizations, yeah, we've been meeting them. The PS of Ministry of Transport, yeah. And we've discussed, yeah, we had defined meeting discussion where we had a lot of good points. And we thought and we hope to say that the Constitution can be amended on that, where we deaf people, we are human beings. We don't need to be treated like animals. No, when it comes to the issue of transport. And to make it also better, we are Zambian with our rights which we need to enjoy. Yeah, we have the rights of movement. And we feel like we can move freely. And the preparation has to be there for us. So, as I said, the best way is we need to change the Constitution. We need to sit, discuss. Unlike where we can be marching, protesting, that won't sort out anything. So we pray that soon we can, that Constitution can be amended on. Yeah, thank you so much, viewers, for your participation. And viewers, it's so interesting, and you know that we'll have more discussions to come after this short break. Stay tuned, we'll be back soon. Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience and for viewing this program. So where we discuss about the security concerns for the deaf. Yeah, we still with Mr. Lewis. Yeah, let's say if you are a Minister of Defense, if you're a Minister of Defense, what can you do to protect the lives of the deaf people in the community? Okay, well, this is a very interesting question, Brian. If I were a Minister of Defense, wow. In defense, there are actually a lot of things that I think I can change, where the deaf people also need to be put in. I can put the deaf people also in security when it comes there. Because the deaf people, they also want to enjoy their right. So as the minister, We want the, when we go there, like as a minister, when we go to the Minister of Defense, they will be able to look at us and say that you're a deaf person, but how do you communicate? But where we know someone who already knows sign language or someone to understand it, it will be easier. So if I was the Minister of Defense, I would first put the deaf people. They can also benefit, they can also enjoy the services and achieve their desires or careers also. So with what is happening around Zambia, yeah, so we the defense, you know, there's not much security, so to say, yeah. So how are you, the deaf leaders, feeling about it, and how is it? How are you missing out on the deaf people, as the deaf people? So for more information, I can say that we making the follow-ups. Yeah, we have a lot of openings that we want to do. For example, we have the show like this one. So this is a good platform where we need to sensitize, and very important to sensitize about those issues that and the concern we have, unlike just being home, you see. So if I'm here able to talk about it, people are now knowing us to say that we are working, and we want our rights to be recognized, and those who are watching, they're able to benefit. So we hope that it's not just supposed to be here, and it's not only us, the deaf people, who are benefiting from it, but others can also benefit on this. Yeah, so you know how it is in our community, as every person need to hustle. Yeah, need to hustle, and some could actually have some overtime work. They need to feed the family. So when it comes to security, how does that, how can security come in to protect the life of the deaf people who are hustling? So I want to say that the world is, it's not, it's not ending now, but we know that it's toward the end. And the other thing is that when one becomes a deaf person, it doesn't mean that it's the end of them. No. God has given us different skills and abilities to act. Yeah. So in school, colleges, we have some deaf people who have now started accepting their situations and trying to compete with others. For example, me, myself, you see, I'm a living testimony, I can say. Yeah. I'm a deaf person. I've been participating with the people without deafness. So this will show that even us, we can hustle and also bring support to the families. So what are your future plans, let's say, when it comes to the security and the security concerns for the deaf people? I have big dreams and the big vision I have. Yeah, because when I grew up, I was not born deaf, and my growing up, I've seen a lot, and I've seen that a lot of Zambian deaf, they need to be helped in different ways. So which I want to inform you here on this show. It's very important that we keep it, yeah, some things we need to keep them confidential, which soon we are going to, you'll see the actions that I have toward helping persons with disabilities. So very soon, I pray that it goes well, so that the lives of the deaf people can be uplifted. Now, how would you like to encourage other deaf people to work so hard, just like you've been doing? For example, a lot of deaf people, you know, they say, no, we don't have a good future. They don't plan, actually. They don't know what to do. That's why they engage themselves in bad conduct or vices. Now, how would you encourage other deaf people to emulate what you've been doing and also to emulate your plans to protect the lives of the deaf? So what I would like to encourage you people is the deaf people. When you become a deaf person, it doesn't mean it's the end of your life or world. No, we still have a living, and you can live just like other people without the deafness. So what is important is have your vision, identify it, and think of how best you can be helped or how best you can do to reach your vision. You can get some skills, and when you realize that, you're going to be successful and your life is going to change. So in many places in Zambia, you can do anything that you feel you can manage to do. You don't need to feel depressed or stressed because you are deaf. You are a person, a normal person who can do also like others. So yeah, thank you so much. So in the community, we have a lot of deaf people who are living with, let's say, poor backgrounds. So how would you help such kind of families? Yeah, so what we do is we need to come up with some measures. You know, life, first of all, security, you need to do it ourselves to start as an individual. From there now, that's when now we can discuss with the government. Because what we should not forget is that we are human beings. We are not animals. So we need to act just like other human being can do. We don't really need for someone to come and tell us you must do this, you must do that to improve your life or your security because you are poor. No, you need to realize your rights and also the position. Yeah. So thank you so much. So as we come to the conclusion of this show for today, about the security concerns for the deaf people, what would be your closing remarks? Yeah, so my concerns are there, and I'm trying to beg you, the people, the viewers, the government, the Christians, churches, we beg you actually to consider the deaf people and feel that they too need to be protected. Because deaf people, you don't need to throw them or to neglect them. They are just the people in your community. So the police, everyone, the police, the best way to communicate, writing on a piece of paper is not the best way of communicating with a deaf person who has come to report. Learn sign language. Basic sign language communication is very wrong. We've seen a lot of deaf people who've been happen. Thank you so much. Well, we would want to thank you so much all for your time, for viewing our show, and we hope for the next time as we come with so many interesting stories. You can be able to reach us on the number 0974 75 8855. So 0974 758855 is the number you can call us on. Yeah, so to stand on behalf of the whole Intangoji interpreter, Blessing Sokauta, we say bye-bye. See you next week on the same channel, same time, same place. Bye-bye. Much love.